I guess it's time for a break then. For a moment, I feared our talks were descending into descend into violence there and then. Alice speaks of her dislike for politics, but her honest plea may very well have prevented an early battle. Whatever rebuttal I had in mind was lost when Varys mentioned my father. The man is certainly skilled at keeping his opponents off balance. I do much wonder at Emperor Varys' decision to attend these negotiations. It is plain he has no intention of hearkening to our entreaties, but then what is his goal? 'Tis true that Limsa laments as beginnings were not wholly honourable, but our old wrongs do not make the Empire's deeds right. Varys holds fast to his ideals, just as I knew he would. He will not be swayed from his path. Why do I get the feeling the Emperor is hiding something? For years we have warred with the Empire, and with no end in sight. A parley such as this represents a unique opportunity, and I would not squander it with bitter words. Alright, Alice? This is really not my forte. After his Radiance's little performance, it was all I could do not to swear at him. I honestly don't know how I ended up playing the mediator. I just asked myself what Alphino would have done. Tried my best to do the same, and by some miracle, it worked. But there really is no common ground to be found with that man, nor do I think he looked for any. So the question becomes, what did he come here to do? Because you may be certain it wasn't to make peace. Whatever it is, I can't make it out. Not yet, at least. We do have a little time before the parley is due to reconvene, though. So why not try consulting our illustrious leaders? Mayhap they have some insight to share. I guess. Can't hurt. I will say one thing for Varys. He's well versed in Eorzean history. His interest in our affairs is that of a beast in its prey. The conqueror would know it's his enemies. Know his enemies. All should know their enemies. Yet there is much and more we do not know about the Empire. I'm sure Varys would be happy to tell you. Then it's up to you to change his mind here and now. Why, I'm sure he'd be happy to tell you. Maybe change his mind, ask him some questions. You would have me ask the Emperor himself? Oh, mayhap there is some wisdom in that. If we could skirt the storm of his displeasure, we may yet come to our answers, even if it does mean sailing close to the wind. Twelve have mercy, but for Lady Alice's timely interjection, we might well have come to blows at the negotiating table. Not that Emperor Varys left us a great many options. Is unconditional surrender all he will accept, do you think? Well... Here he arrives, I'd have said the same, said yes, but having heard him speak, I cannot help but think he came with some other end in mind. Exactly, he's building up to something, I know it. How then should we approach the rest of the parley? Have you anything to say, Warrior Flight? Invite Varys to explain himself, say nothing of Xenos or the Ashians. And I would say just invite him to explain himself. Of those two options. You believe he is more apt to reveal the truth if we put him at his ease? Mayhap you are right. Thank you, Alexander. This parley was never like to bring peace. but I had hoped to learn something of Emperor Varys' relation with the Asians. As had we all. Yet if he is in league with them, he is not like to volunteer the fact. And if he is not, how much weaker would his position seem for their presence? If we are to broach that particular subject, we will need to be subtle. Ugh, would that I knew more of the man. If you would indulge me. Lord Hien, you received an imperial education, did you not? Is it true that the Emperor's will is considered absolute? There is no higher authority in all Garlemald, nor else in the heavens come to that. Veneration of the gods is forbidden, the only worship permitted being that of His Radiance's own person. That sounds suspiciously like a religion in itself, yeah. I share your disdain for their hypocrisy, even as they denigrate the idea of faith. They revere their leader with a fervor others reserve for the divine. Denigrate? Don't think I know that word. 'Tis a flaw common to much of the doctrine they fed us. Logical on the surface perhaps, but contradictory under closer examination. I wonder if a discussion of the various discrepancies might prompt Varys to reveal something. Maybe. You've spoken with everyone then. Good. Now all that remains is to await the pleasure of the Emperor, and hope we fare better at the second attempt. Good luck, us!
Now then, who would have the floor?
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affair surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat icons posed to the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the Baron said to have been laid waste by icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really waging this war?
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more. No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
What in Rhalgr's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of this star, of the source and its 13 reflections. At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections. That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he wages war, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined. That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
A rejoining of worlds.
I have heard this tale of the Source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Garlean Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
Yes. My grandsire, the former Emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire? Would you condemn me for this alliance, for bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace?
Your prize is a lie, your master's demons. I will stop you and the Ascians no matter the cost. Your prize is a lie, your master's demons.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence. Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard.
Ooh, very nice framing.
An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate. I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left!
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable! Unconscionable!
And what is the alternative? to be as cattle waiting for slaughter. I would have us work together, that we might take fate into our own hands.
Into your hands, perhaps. But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose them until we have been made whole once more.
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another. While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation. That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible. Such a man is not fit to govern.
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
I cannot condone such a loss of life. We can defeat the Ascians as we are. We can defeat the Ascians as we are.
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
You Eorzeans never cease to disappoint me. Though I suppose I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion is at an end. I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It will not be at the negotiating table.
Well then. People have talked about that a lot, but I found it pretty interesting. The thing is, people assume that he may have been possessed or this or that, but he told us a lot he didn't need to. Such as the Ascians building the Empire. He didn't need to tell us that. His grand plan is to bring about more calamities? This is insanity. This madman must be stopped at all costs. It definitely is a lot to think on. Anyway, that's not important. Sorry. We suspected Ascian meddling in the shadows of the Empire, but the truth is far beyond my wildest imagining. At least now we know the face of our enemy, and need not hesitate to strike at its heart. I'm glad we arrived in time to aid the battle. Though our vanguard may be small, these few are our chosen elite, the finest warriors of the Far East. All three of them. The Empire exists to wage war, and war it shall have. But its vast armies pouring like the tides themselves. This could very well be the greatest military threat Eorzea has ever faced. Still can't get his voice right. Oh, Lucia! The Temple Knights have deployed in full strength. Eorzea's future is Ishgard's future, and our fates ride upon the outcome of this conflict. In more ways than you could possibly know. The Ascians are terrible beings indeed. That they would found an entire nation to further their dark designs, 'twould seem that the Empire's history is as sinister as Ishgard's own. I'm surprised they're not more involved, to be honest. Pippin! My first engagement is Flame General. It's a full-scale war with the Empire. I feel some measure of nervousness, of course. But I swear I'll make father proud in the battle to come. Or the battle soon. Now that we have learned the Emperor's true purpose, war has become an inevitability. To times like these I curse my own uselessness in battle. I refuse the Emperor's words with all my being. What justice is there in an ideal that demands the sacrifice of so many? It makes a twisted kind of sense that the Empire was built by the Chaos Bringers themselves. The revelation yet rattles me. But now we know our enemies are one and the same. We have a target upon which to unleash the full force of the Alliance. Send me to the front lines, if you please. We'll give the Imperials a taste of the Maelstrom's cannons, not to mention my axe. I was born in the Empire, but I will never serve the Emperor. Only the Seed Seer commands my loyalty. So, Lys, I came back to find Doma's defense party ready and willing, waiting for battle. So, as worrying as our little chap the Emperor was, it did buy enough time for at least some of our allies to arrive. True. Harley on the front lines, shaka saka saka. Do I get the shaka? Shaka 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 shaka. Ba ba. The face of war. Having listened to Emperor Varus's maniacal plans, Lys is ready to go to war. Do 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 do. Do do. Do do. Do do.
I'm not sure what I was expecting from our meeting with the Emperor, but it wasn't that. Still, at least we know now what he's really after.
Aye, a future built on a mountain of bodies. I too want the Ascians dead, but not at any cost.
The last of the reinforcements from Doma arrived not long ago. I pray it will be enough. Given the Emperor's stated goal, this is a battle we can ill afford to lose.
If the Galleons come in force, we may not have much say in the matter, even with our combined strength.
We knew from the first that the odds would be against us. But if there is even the slightest chance of victory, we must do everything in our power to seize it.
We must seize it, full stop.
Here!
The two of you are to join an irregular unit and support the main host. I won't bother asking if you're minded to fight.
Well, you know.
After coming this far, how could I not? And for once, there's no one around to countermand me. Not that they would. Not even my brother. But we all know who really make the difference. Ready to frighten some Garleans?
Yeah, I'm gonna make them shiver in the boots.
I wouldn't want to be on their side.
Might I ask you to accompany the dormant contingent? They are strangers here, and your presence would do much to raise their spirits.
Yeah, we can do that.
We would be honored.
When our people stride out with you in their midst, I dare say the Eorzeans will feel an ilm taller themselves. High spirits have a way of spreading.
What I wouldn't give to join you. But my duties as field commander will not allow it. I'll leave the front lines in your capable hands. Comrades, ready your arms. The hour of battle has come. May the crystal guide us to victory!
Since the others couldn't be here, we'll have to fight twice as hard. If Alphinaud wakes to find the Imperials have won, I shall never hear the end of it.
Oh, don't you know?
It's strange. I thought I would be terrified when the fighting started. I should be terrified. But with you at our side, I can't help feeling everything is going to be all right. So please, don't you dare leave me alone.
God, could you foreshadow any harder? It hurts.
No matter what happens, we have to survive together.
Oh, my poor heart. My precious little girl's all grown up and I know something horrible's gonna happen. The GHIMLYT Dark is now accessible. Finally, we've got to the dungeon. My duties as field commander demand I remain here at my post, but I have no doubt the front lines are in capable hands. Is anyone else around to talk to? Didn't look like it. Alright. For those who travel twixt Aldenard and Isilbard, there is but one path, and it leads through GHIMLYT, a confluence of harsh terrain and ethereoclimactic conditions. That's not alright. A confluence of harsh terrain and ethereoclimactic conditions have shrouded the land in perpetual darkness. It is here that the decisive battle for Eorzea begins. Joined by their far eastern allies, the Eorzean Alliance battles desperately to fight back the seemingly endless waves of Imperial troops in a bid to change the tide of battle. The Warrior of Light has been called to the fray, but can they prevail in this land long since lost to the light? Yes? I'm gonna go with yes. Let's turn off join in progress because I don't want to do that. And 5 minutes. So, as normal, join me in 5 minutes when we take on, the GHIMLYT Dark.